Ahead of the United Nations UN General Assembly slated for September 2025, the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, on Thursday issued a statement and said that France will recognize the State of Palestine at the UN coming meeting of heads of states as a way to put an end to the war in Gaza so that the civilian populations in the Palestinian city can be rescued, also describing the move as France's historical commitment to a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, within an hour issued a counter-press statement and said that the State of Israel condemned the decision of France's president to recognize the State of Palestine, stressing that such move by France rewards terror and risks creating another Iran Proxy that will be a launch pad to annihilate Israel. According to the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, true to its historic commitment to a just and lasting peace in the Middle East, I have decided that France will recognize the State of Palestine. I will make the solemn announcement at the United Nations General Assembly next September. The urgency is today for the war in Gaza to end and the civilian population to be rescued. Peace is possible. There is an immediate ceasefire, the release of all hostages and massive humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. We must also guarantee the demilitarization of Hamas, secure and rebuild Gaza. At last, Clearwater Police Department in Florida, United States has confirmed that World Wrestling Champion Terry Bolley aka Hulk Hogan died on Thursday morning around 11:17 a.m. after the personnel of the Clearwater City Fire and Police Departments responded to an emergency medical report at about 9:51 a.m. and administered first aid treatment of cardiac arrest to Hulk Hogan before he was rushed to Morton Plant Hospital where he was pronounced dead. According to the Clearwater Police Department in a video press briefing held a few hours ago, the Clearwater Fire Department and Clearwater Police Department personnel responded to a medical call at 9:51 a.m. today in the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue on Clearwater Beach. The nature of the call was for a cardiac arrest. A 71-year-old resident, Terry Bolley, also known as Hulk Hogan, was treated by Clearwater Fire and Rescue crews before being taken by Sunstar to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. Major Nate Burnside briefed the press about the police and fire response to a medical call involving Terry Bolley, also known as Hulk Hogan. A video of the scene outside Hogan's residence shows responders desperately trying to save his life as he was transported to an ambulance. In the clip, several paramedics appear to be conducting chest compressions as Hogan is wheeled to the emergency vehicle. The family of the late Nigeria former president, Muhammadu Buhari, on Sunday issued and released a letter of appreciation to people who sent in condolence messages after the former Nigeria president died on Sunday, July 13, 2025 at a London hospital, but the Buhari family mentioned several names they considered as notable people among those who sent in condolences, which some of them did not attend the burial ceremony and apparently ignored three former presidents of Nigeria that were major rivals to the late Muhammadu Buhari's presidency, despite the fact that former presidents Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GEJ, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, IBB, and Olusegun Obasanjo, OBJ, were among the notable personalities in the society to send condolences early enough to the family and the nation at large exactly same day Buhari died, while OBJ personally issued video press release to mourn the death of Muhammadu Buhari. GEJ, after issuing condolence message, visited the family of late Buhari in London the next day to console with the bereaved family, and also, IBB, after mourning the demise of late President Muhammadu Buhari, sent his children led by Mohamed Babangida to Katsina State to pay the family and the people condolence visit over the death of the late former head of state, Muhammadu Buhari, that was ousted out of power as then Nigeria military head of state on August. It has been a sad Monday in Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, as one of the Bangladesh Air Force training planes crashed on students while they were taking test examinations and some of them attending regular classes at Milestone School and College, with 19 victims already confirmed dead by local authorities while over 100 persons, mostly students, are hospitalized. The head of interim government of Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus has assured the public that the government of Bangladesh will carry out investigation to ascertain the cause of the military plane crash, as some of the victims were seen walking out from the burning flames with almost completely burned bodies. It was gathered that the plane crashed immediately after takeoff around 1 p.m. local Bangladesh time, which was 7 o'clock a.m. GTM. According to Hindustan Times, a Bangladesh Air Force F-7BGI training aircraft crashed into a college campus in Dhaka, killing at least 19 and injuring over 100 people. Local media reported that the leaders and activists of Bangladesh Chhatraleague faced a brutal mob attack while donating blood to save the injured students of the Milestone School plane crash. Military and a fire official said the Bangladesh Air Force F-7BGI aircraft crashed into the campus of Milestone School and College in Dhaka's Uttara neighborhood on Monday afternoon, where students were taking tests or attending regular classes. Sadia Rahman, as multiple wars in the Middle East appear unabated, Israel, the main defender and attacker on multiple waterfronts in the city of Gaza, Lebanon, Iran, Yemen and now Syria, has ordered the Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI, to mass-produce Arrow missiles interceptors in a very large numbers, with the Israel Ministry of Defense saying that the State of Israel has increased its defense spending for 2025 and 2026 to 42 billion new Israeli shekels, which is approximately $12.5 billion. During the 12-day war with Iran, there were multiple reports that Israel was running low on Arrow missiles interceptors defense system, as Iran long-range missiles were seen hitting targets in Israel. Aerospace observers said the advanced Arrow high-altitude defense systems are critical to countering long-range ballistic missile threats, like those launched from Iran during the 12-day war in June 2025. According to the Israel Ministry of Defense in a press statement on Thursday, the Director General of the Israel Ministry of Defense, IMOD, Major General, Reservist, Amir Baram, signed a production contract to significantly accelerate the serial production of Arrow interceptors at IAI, Israel Aerospace Industries. As part of the deal, IAI will supply the IMOD with a significant additional amount of Arrow interceptors. The deal was led by Moshe shortly after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu returned from the United States, US on Sunday, where he had paid an official visit to the US President, Donald Trump, lawmakers and other US government officials. The misunderstanding between Bedouin and Druze tribes in the Swaida region of Syria that started last Friday took a new twist, evolving into a deadly conflict after a Druze man was robbed at gunpoint on Friday by gunmen suspected to be natives of Bedouin tribe. Druze residents in Swaida shortly on Friday mobilized, went after the people of Bedouin, arrested and detained a lot of natives from the Bedouin tribe, forcing the people of Bedouin to retaliate, and the conflicts led to mass killings. Unabated, and on Tuesday, the Syria interim government soldiers entered Swaida reportedly to restore law and order, but Israel-based media reported that the Syria interim government soldiers, mostly members of the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, assisted and joined the Bedouin militias to kill the people of Druze, and in a swift response, the office of the Prime Minister of Israel in a press statement on Tuesday said, "The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the Israel Minister of Defense, Israel Katz, have authorized the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, to attack Syria interim regime forces led by Syria interim President Ahmed Hussein al-Shara, who Israel Policy Forum in a publication published. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has confirmed and announced the death of the Nigeria immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari at a London hospital at about 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, after years of rumors and speculations by the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that the person that ruled Nigeria for the last 8 years died few years after he took over office on May 29, 2015. The news of former President Buhari's death came at a time the ex-president was a major point of discussion during the preceding week after the personal media aide to the late president, Garba Shehu, confessed he lied to cover up the health issues of the then President Muhammadu Buhari, a confession the indigenous people of Biafra described and said that the Garba Shehu's confessional statement about the use of the Villa Rat, invasion story to cover up former President Muhammadu Buhari's illness vindicates its detained leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who had speculated years ago, starting from 2018, that the real Muhammadu Buhari died few years after assuming office, that the man that ruled Nigeria for the last part of first tenure and second tenure was Mr. Jubril al-Sudani from Sudan. In a statement on Saturday by the Biafra Group's spokesperson, Emma Powerful, IPOB said Kanu was the first to expose Buhari's health condition and was persecuted for it. The Anambra State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has repelled the simultaneous sporadic heavy gun shooting in Oko and Equilobia, when two separate groups of unknown gunmen engaged men of the Oko Divisional Police Headquarters in the Arumba North local government area in an early morning gun battle, and another group took over the Equilobia flyover bridge in the Aguata local government area of the state on Wednesday, resulting in the death of two members of the public and set ablaze the patrol vehicle of Agonichemba, the state special vigilante group, which, police said one of the attackers was killed during the deadly gun battle. And on Thursday, the police issued new updates, stating that an additional AK-47 rifle has been recovered from one of the fleeing assailants, while Biafra Armed Group, the Biafra Defense Forces, in a tweet on Thursday specifically denied any involvement in the mass shooting at Equilobia, stating, "Those impersonating them will one day run out of luck." According to the Biafra Defense Forces, the said incident that occurred yesterday at Equilobia is not in any way connected to Biafra Defense Forces, BRF, BNF, BLA, and BAF. Those impersonating BDF will one day run out of luck. Biafrans beware. Anambra State Police, in a new updates on Thursday, said that the police-led joint security force at Aguata recovered an additional AK-47 rifle with a fully loaded. Kenya National Human Rights Commission, KNHRC, has confirmed that 31 persons have already been pronounced dead by medical doctors attending to protesters who were attacked on Monday by Kenya's security operatives and armed militias when thousands of Kenya residents came out to stage a mass protest to mark this year's 7th anniversary, an event known as Saba Saba Day that commemorates July 7, 1990, when Kenyans rose up to demand a return to multi-party democracy after years of autocratic rule by then-President Daniel Arap Moi. The united opposition leaders called on all Kenya citizens to declare President William's Ruto government as an illegitimate regime that is an enemy of the people, hostile to the people, killing the people by thus boycotting all government functions and activities, and delegitimize the government's businesses and actions, insisting 2027 is too far for Kenyans to wait before ending the presidency of Ruto. And in a swift reaction, President William Ruto on Wednesday visited Dagoretti, northern side of Nairobi, to inspect the construction of 540 housing units project at Kilimani Police Station, and during the visit, the president addressed the nation and declared those are apparent protesters who attacked fellow Kenyans, police officers, security installations and businesses as terrorists, stressing, such acts are a declaration of war and he will never allow. 3 Israeli citizens, Liran Yakovov, Natanel Aviv and Ozchai Raham, have been convicted for stealing properties belonging to victims of the October 7, 2023 massacre, when groups of Hamas fighters invaded the Nova Music Festival near Kibbutz Be'eri, barely 5 kilometers away from Gaza, with over 4,400 fun seekers at the music party, and killed more than 360 persons at the music festival, which led to the state of Israel waging wars in Hamas-controlled Gaza, Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon, Iran under Ayatollah Khamenei's supreme leadership, and recently in Houthis-controlled Yemen. According to Israeli-based media, Unet News, nearly 2 years after the October 7 massacre, prosecutors asked the Be'er-Sheva Magistrates Court to impose prison sentences ranging from 3.5 to 5 years and order compensation for victims on 3 Israelis, Liran Yakovov, Natanel Aviv and Ozchai Raham, convicted of stealing property from the Nova Music Festival massacre site. The defendants roamed among bodies and burned cars, grabbing whatever they could, prosecutor Tehla Needham said during Monday's sentencing arguments. She noted that some stolen items belonged to innocent civilians who fled for their lives or were murdered during the attack, adding, they desecrated the dignity of the murdered, with bodies still lying in the area. Their actions violate the most basic societal norms. The prosecution also requested a fine of 80,000 shekels, $21,000. Flights at McAllen International Airport on Monday early morning were delayed for several hours as 27-year-old gunman Ryan Louis Mosqueda ambushed and shot at the United States, U.S. Border Police Patrol agents in Texas, injuring 2 police officers and a Border Patrol employee, the suspect was later shot dead at the entrance of the U.S. Border Patrol Federal Building. This occurred less than 48 hours when, on Saturday, a North Texas police officer was ambushed at a DHS facility and shot in the neck by 8 men in body armor. These incidents happened amid nationwide rise in threats to immigration and custom enforcement, ICE personnel and Border Patrol agents over President Donald Trump immigrants deportation policy. Local media reported that the federal agents returned fire at the suspect, identified as Ryan Louis Mosqueda, who was armed with a rifle and wearing a utility vest. Mosqueda was killed at the scene, McAllen Police Chief Victor Rodriguez said. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, in a statement on its X social media handle, stated that, this morning an individual opened fire at the entrance of the United States Border Patrol Sector Annex in McAllen, Texas. Both Border Patrol agents and local police helped neutralize the shooter. 2 officers and a Border Patrol employee were injured, including 1 shot in the knee. All 3 have gone to the hospital. Imo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has given reasons why a suspected kidnapper, Obinna Orji, who the police said his gang are responsible for series of kidnapping and armed robbery in Anambra, Delta and Rivers states, has not been charged to court since he was arrested, while condemning an ex-social media post published by an account holder named Fisayo Suyombo, who has raised alarm that the police arrested and detained Obinna Orji, he described in the post as a businessman, for 8 months without charging him to court. In a swift reaction on Saturday, Imo State Police Command, in a statement issued and made available by the command spokesperson, Okoye Henry, narrated and listed the alleged crimes committed by the detained Obinna Orji, saying, the kind of crimes Obinna is allegedly involved in, are capital offenses that police has no right to grant his bail, and the delay in taking him to court is because the alleged crimes cut across multiple states which required more time for proper investigation. Fisayo Suyombo, who often introduces himself as an undercover investigator, had tweeted on X social media on Saturday with a photograph of the police officer in charge of the case and said, Spiola, the officer in charge of the anti-kidnapping unit of the police in Imo, has been detaining Obinna Orji, a 43-year-old businessman, for 8 straight months without charging him to court. Spiola says nobody, not even the IGP,
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.